All right, and let me put this poll question in here. Okay, you are going to need 2 things this morning. 3. Your brain, note-taking materials, and a second device so that you can look at the website, theturnarounddoctor.com. And on that website, you're going to go to the 74 principles of real leadership so that you can follow along with me today. And the principle that we're looking at today is challenge yourself. And give me a moment. My internet is moving kind of slow this morning. So you'll need note-taking materials. And those note-taking materials can be physical or virtual, whichever one you see you need that allows you to learn best. You're going to go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership, and we are in innovative number 6, challenge yourself. With that being said, on your own, go ahead and inhale and exhale 3 times. Deep breaths. So you let the brain and the mind and the body and everything, soul, spirit, know you're getting ready to use it this morning. Good morning. I am Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's topic is challenge yourself. Good morning, Regina. How do we get here? Neurogenesis. That's the creation of new neurons in your amazing brain. And those neurons decide that they're going to meet and they're going to take a pathway. And that pathway is called neuroplasticity. And it's the wiring of your brain to do behaviors over and over and over and over again until you just get it. You just get it. And then you combine that with the 74 principles of real leadership and the theory of personal accountability, and where you land is neuropability. And that's the brain's ability to wire itself to use the 74 principles of real leadership day in and day out to do what? To teach you how to hold yourself personally accountable so that you can have unlimited pathways to best every single day. Now, where does this magic happen? This magic happens in your frontal lobe, and in the section that we're using today is that amazing executive function, commonly referred to as the CEO of the brain. So without further ado, let's use it today. Good morning, Lola, and love the new brain background. This is compliments of Kevin, because I've been trying to change the background and have not had time to go in, because if y'all knew the amount of work. So I created several new backgrounds yesterday because we actually had time. But when Kevin said the blue was hard for him to focus, I knew it was time for me. And I did it with the blue and the green, and we looked and looked and looked. And then I said, yep, it's time to get some new backgrounds. Because before, once I realized it was a green screen, I was like, okay, let me make something really quickly. But yesterday I had about 30 minutes. So I made different backgrounds. If you'll notice, there's a different background announcing the live as well. I will continue to create new backgrounds, but I think I made like 6, if I'm not mistaken, for various different things. So there'll be new background for the Real Leader Brain, as well as for this, and as well as for the announcement of the live on the YouTube channel. So new brain t-shirts, new background, new energy. Okay. Kevin, what are your thoughts about the new brain background? Because it was inspired by you. Okay, challenge yourself. There are 74 principles of real leadership, and if you want to know what they are, go to the Real Leader Principle, the 74 Principles of Real Leadership playlist, and start at the bottom and scroll all the way up and watch, and you will catch up to where we are. Not only have I done that and given an overview, but additionally, I have also taken each individual principle of real leadership and defined every word in it so that you can understand it in all of its totality. Today is challenge yourself, and we're going to look at the definitions, and then we're going to understand why it's so difficult for people to challenge themselves, and what you can do about it. Okay, challenge. What is the definition of challenge? I am glad you asked, Lola. So here is the definition. It is a stimulus to action or effort. A stimulus to action or effort. And additionally, this is why I love ChatGPT, GPT, and Grok, because they give you a more tailored definition to what it is that you're actually talking about. So here's the second part of the definition of challenge. Something that encourages growth, improvement, or great effort. Something that encourages growth, improvement, or great effort. When I wrote my book in 2008 and published it in 2009, this here is what I was talking about. Something that encourages growth, improvement, or great effort. And if you Google it, it's not going to say that. If you Google challenge, it will not give you that second part. And I don't think that it gave me the first part either. That's why I switched over. So I always start with Google. Let me see what it says. And I say, what's the full meaning? If I don't get it, now I have the option to go to ChatGPT or Grok using it through X. But it's a stimulus to take action or effort, something that encourages growth, improvement, or great effort. It encourages it. So challenging yourself, it encourages growth, improvement, or great effort. I go through great effort every single day to ensure that you have the best information that I am capable of delivering to you day in and day out. Today is number 565 days consecutively of me going live. That's challenging myself. I am challenging myself by these. I made these graphics myself behind me. So I started with the brain and then added the Dr. Donna-ness of it all. I'm challenging myself every single day because I have to consistently keep being ahead of you. I can't just be a little bit ahead of you. I got to be in another galaxy, because what happens is it takes me a long time to figure these things out, put them in place, make them for you. But then because of that, it's almost like I'm teleporting you. So you get this jump because you didn't have to figure it out. You just get to consume it, be in the challenge, do what the challenge says, and then you have the ability to create these neural pathways sooner. So I have to keep challenging myself, because at some point you all might catch up with me, and then that would be no bueno. I'd have peers, but then we'd all be looking at each other like, now what? So challenging myself every single day is something that I will continue to do until the day after I'm no longer here. And then the definition of yourself is you. Is you. So you have the ability to encourage yourself to grow, improve, and take great effort to become your best. That's what challenge yourself is. So, to the group, why is it so difficult for people to challenge themselves? Why is it so difficult? And my cup is warm. I'm not even about the outside of the cup is warm. I'm not doing this to my tongue. Absolutely not. And then while you're answering that question, so what happens is when you do something every single day, you don't even realize that you are ready for a change. So everybody was like, when I changed it to blue, Regina, you didn't like the red when you was the pink when you're like, I like the red. Kevin's like, I don't like the blue. And I was like, I don't like the graphic. So I'm sick of and now it's like, oh, we wanted to change. And it was this nice little simple dopamine, natural dopamine boost. Ta-da! It's here. And that's what happens in your day-to-day life. You're just droning on day in and day out, day in and day out. You say, oh, I need to take a vacation. Oh, I need to take a trip. Oh, I need to go to a concert. But what you actually need to do is challenge yourself to grow. And the question on the table is, why is it so difficult for people to challenge themselves? Remember, ... I'm thinking, emoji. I'm here. Let me ponder, Dr. Donna, so that I know that the chat is still functioning properly and that you are actually thinking about the question at hand. Kevin said, lack of confidence to believe they can succeed. Lack of confidence to believe that they can succeed. So this simple, subtle change. We are all still where we are watching me on live. I'm still in my brain t-shirt sitting at my desk. This one background change. Now the neurons are like, oh, look at this. So you don't have, I didn't spend any money. I'm using my same monthly memberships that I have to create graphics. It was not that much of an effort because I was just sitting at my desk waiting on the next appointment. But this has changed something without purchasing. Because like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll redecorate my house. I'll go buy some curtains. I'll buy some blinds. Oh, they get these new zebra blinds. I'm going to redo the kitchen. No, it's something that you need to do to challenge yourself. So it was a challenge for me to discover all these different brains. How can I do it And so I have to take the picture and then I have to put it in a couple of apps to make it this many amount. And then I was like, I don't like that. I do like that. And so, like I said, I think I got 5 or 6, I'd have to count to see how many new backgrounds they are. But I'm challenging myself because you feel it. You feel it going down and you're on your way in a rut. And that's what I get, whoop, nope, I'm about to change something. And I'm going to challenge myself to do it. Regina said, it's hard. It's too hard. People become complacent. Nola said, people don't believe if they change, they will still be good. That's interesting as well. That is interesting as well. So yes, those are your answers. I appreciate your answers, and I'm going to give you the answers that I have for you. Thank you for answering the question. Number 1, challenging yourself is tough because it often means stepping out of comfort zones, facing uncertainty, and risk failure. Challenging yourself is tough because it often means stepping out of comfort zones, facing uncertainty, and risk failure. Nobody wants to look bad. Oh my God. And why don't we want to look bad? Glad you asked that question, Regina, because unaccountable people going to make you feel like shit if you mess up, if you fail, if you embarrass yourself, if you look bad. Unaccountable people are going to let you know how fucked up you did, how messed up that situation was. They're waiting to say, hey, nah, I told you so. I told you so. So if you just stay in your little comfort zone, if I had to stay doing those TikTok lives where I was just trying to interact with people, do personal accountability, we don't get to Neuropability. I don't get to come out as a nerd. I don't get to have brain t-shirts, and I don't actually get to teach people how to use their brain so they can become personally accountable, because who am I? I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not a neurologist. I didn't go to school for any of this, and I'm on my way back. But what do I know? What do I know? A lot, about a lot. I know how to use the brain. I definitely know how to use the brain as it was designed. So when you challenge yourself, people are going to say stuff. And so you don't want your significant other, your children, if you have adult children, what are they going to say if I go and change and do this other thing? No. So I'm going to stay in my stuck belief with my stance, and I'm just brag about how good I am at this one little stupid thing that I know how to do, even though I learned it in 1972. Number 2, humans are hardwired to seek safety and conserve energy. So the brain resists change that feels threatening or effortful. I'm going to say that again. Humans are wired to seek safety and conserve energy. So the brain resists change that feels threatening or effortful. Remember, if you had to fight a saber-toothed tiger in the back in the day, you needed all your energy and your strength to be able to fight that saber-toothed tiger. So now it's just been hardwired. I'm saving my energy. I'm saving my mind. I'm saving my brain. Oh no, that's gonna take too much effort. Ooh, I gotta sweat too. No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna sit over here in the AC. It's hot outside. And now you are just stuck. And your brain is like, no, but we would have, Working memory is like, hey, dude, you're 47. You haven't used me in 12 years. This is gonna go left. Be like, no, I'm chilling. I'm over here. I got my stuff and I'm good over here. Number 3, winner, chicken dinner, fear of failure. Self-doubt or perfectionism can make the prospect of a challenge feel overwhelming. Fear of failure, self-doubt, or perfectionism can make the prospect of a challenge feel overwhelming. Now, for all of these people, like, I suffer from perfectionism. I just want everything to be perfect. I want to be perfect. I want to be perfect. Okay, well, why you didn't make up your bed this morning? Did you not want your bed to be perfect? Why do you have all this shit and junk everywhere we go? Why is it that you look so disheveled? If you suffering from perfectionism, then we should see some semblance. We should see some evidence that I just want it to be perfect. I just want it to be perfect. Well, what part is perfect? So we can have a measurement of why you can't do it. Show me the thing that you did get perfect. Because that's some bullshit in my head. I honestly, when I hear that, I suffer from perfectionism. I'm like, no, you don't. Because nothing you've done, if you suffer from perfectionism, something already should be perfect. Somewhere there should be some evidence of perfectionism. I tell you it's in your daily, so there should be some evidence of my daily. Somebody yesterday on Threads asked if you have siblings, what's the age difference in the siblings? And the people were saying 3 years, whatever. And I know I always say 3 years, 2 months, and 2 days. But I said, well, how many days is it actually? My sister was born on March 12th, 1970. I was born on May 10th, 1973. So I Googled it, and there's actually 1,155 days. So that's what I'm going to start saying. She is 1,155 days older than me. I don't know her time of birth exactly because I don't have her birth certificate. But I was born 10:47 p.m. on a Thursday. So my point is this. Good morning, Sabrina. My point is this. I typed that up in the answer. Be well, Nola. I typed that up, and then the person who asked the question originally said, so 3 years. I'm like, you didn't ask us in years. You said, what's the age difference? I get to answer the question how I see fit. So literally, conformity bias, confirmation bias said, no, Dr. Donna, you answered the question wrong. You said days, but you didn't give parameters. You didn't say how many years. And so I did that on purpose because I challenged myself to finally find out what the actual number of days is, because everything for me is daily. I said 1,155 days. And the first thing that person did was say, day, that's not what we doing. And they tried to, I said, people want to love putting me back in my box. Put her back in the box. Like, man, I'm already in the galaxy. That you can't even find a box to put me in. Good luck with that. Okay. You know how you buy something and now it's time to take it back, and you in the garage making a box and it just quite fit the same no more because the original box is already in the trash and gone to the landfill somewhere. Yeah. So fear, failure, self-doubt, perfectionism, and the prospect of challenging the challenge we'll feel is that it's overwhelming. So anytime you are thinking about, oh, I can't do this because I'm gonna fail. Oh, I'm gonna do this because of self-doubt. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I can't do this because of perfectionism. It's all some bullshit. Okay. Don't worry about failing. Don't worry about what it looks like. Stop trying to force people into something so that they can't be different. They can't. No, don't do that. So I challenged myself. It made people uncomfortable, and he tried to put my number back into years. And so I did not respond. Normally when people comment or say something to my comment, I will heart their comment. I'm not going to do that because I get to think in days. I don't have to think in years if I don't want to, because numbers are numbers. And when you focus on daily, you're going to do things better. If you think of it in year time frames, and it just doesn't seem like that much. When I say 1,155 days older than me and all the things that she did, you're like, damn, she was here 1,155 more days than you. She got you by 1,155 days. 3 years don't seem like a lot. We was in high school at the same time. She was a senior, well, in high school, not the same high school, but she was a senior. I was a freshman. That's a big ass gap. A senior got a beard, they driving, they got money, they're on their way to college. A freshman is still catching the bus, barely got their new brain and stuff. The outfits ain't fitting right. They might still be going through puberty. So that 1,155 days is different depending on where you sit in life at that time. My point is that you have to challenge yourself even when other people are fearful, doubting, and talking about perfectionism. Kick rocks with all that nonsense. Okay, number 4. Social pressures like fear of judgment also play a role. And that goes back to what I was saying. Sabrina, we're talking about challenging yourself this morning. Social pressures like fear of judgment also play a role. So I could have conformed. I knew the person meant years, but I'm me. So I decided I was not going to conform and say years. I looked at the other people's answers and everybody said years. I'm going to say days. I'm going to challenge myself to finally get this answer that I've been wanting to know. This is the moment for that. And now, because I didn't answer correctly, that disrupted the apple cart. Oh, well, 1,155 days. Now I know. So social pressures like fear of judgment also play a role in challenging yourself. And number 5, the last one, modern life's distractions with endless scrolling, instant gratification, make it harder to commit to the sustained effort growth requires. Modern life's distractions with endless scrolling, instant gratification, all make it harder to commit to the sustained effort growth requires. So all of these other things, I got to go to this party, I got to go to this wedding, this graduation season, it's people getting ready to go to college and all these other things, people entering into the military, all these distractions, babies, weddings, because June is weddings in June and July and August, and baby showers and all these other things that are taking place distract you. I'm on social media, I got to get on this and video games and all of that. So it distracts you from the commitment that it takes every day to grow, every day to grow, every day to change and challenge yourself so that you can grow. Now I'm not doing that. I'm almost number one on the game. I gotta do this over here. And so it's a problem. Okay, Sabrina, you said, thank you. I need to hear this as I am trying to understand my fear behind disciplining people. It's weird. I had to ask myself the question you taught us and couldn't really express the why. I will say, for me, having had to discipline people growing up in the wonderful household that I grew up in, part of it is you feel like you're hurting the person. That's number one. You feel like it's discipline, like it's punishment, like that. Like, dang, I'm punishing this person. And I will use my two examples. Well, the main example is that I had to chapter somebody out of the military. I didn't have to. I chaptered somebody out of the military because that person failed 2 PT tests and they were overweight. And people, the other soldiers told me, especially the senior enlisted soldiers, told me that I was wrong for that because that person had a family to take care of, and what were they going to do? And I asked them, what did that person care that they had a family to take care of? Because I was more concerned about my soldiers. An overweight, out of shape soldier is a weakness, and that person can get other people killed. And so my mission as the leader was to ensure that I made sure that all of my soldiers, in the event we had to deploy or war broke out, that we'd all make it home alive. And dragging his big self somewhere. And I was 147 when I was in Korea, man, neck, like I was Roblox for real. But having to drag him in combat was something that and not because he's wounded, but because he's overweight and out of shape, was not something that I was willing to do. And so I took all of that. I was 23 at the time, and all of that was coming. And I said, the Army said, pass 2 PT tests a year, and these are the weight requirements. That was his job description. So I didn't chapter him out the Army. He chaptered himself out of the Army. And then Sean Harper, as well at Frito-Lay, kept playing the attendance game, and he got fired because his wife had his keys and she had to take her mother to the hospital, and he was late. And 1 minute later, Frito-Lay was half a point, and that's all he had. I sat down every 4 weeks with him and said, you're playing the attendance game, you're going to get fired. You're playing the attendance game, you're going to get fired. And he did get fired. And I had to sit in front of all the union president, the union rep for the site, and 2 union reps on the op side, all men. I'm on the other side of the table, and they said, you're going to bring him back. I said, I'm not. Here's the employee handbook, and here's the contract, and here's all the one-with-ones that I've had with him, telling him that he was playing the attendance game. So Sean Harper fired himself. In the event, after a year, if he'd like to come back, I will more than happily hire him back again because he was a great employee, but let this be a lesson to him. So when you are disciplining somebody and they know the employee handbook, the standing operating procedures, and everything else, you are holding them to a standard. Set and maintain high standards is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and that is what you are doing. That is it. So if this is not about you, this is about them being unaccountable, making you feel bad for holding them accountable. So hopefully that helps you. All right. And personally or professionally, that's why we had standing operating procedures at my house when Nola was growing up, and still do, because now you're just holding people to the standard. It's personal accountability if you want to be your best. So the reasons why people don't challenge themselves is because it's tough, because humans are wired to seek comfort, fear of failure. Number 3, fear of failure, self-doubt, and perfectionism. It's some bullshit. But anyway, social pressures of the judgment, and then modern life distractions. So what are your takeaways? Now that you've answered the question, I presented the other answers to you. What are your takeaways from why people don't challenge themselves? All right, good morning, Kevin. No jokes this morning because I know you ain't. Yeah, you can stay as long as you are ready to hear, to listen, and learn. Kevin Jones. Now I feel like a teacher in middle school. Kevin Jones! Kevin Hooks. Kevin Jones. Come up to my desk. Let me tell you what you did wrong on this math problem right here. Now you know, wasn't you supposed to carry, now what? Carry the 1. That's right. Now go back and do it again and come back and bring me that homework. Thank you, Regina, for your ellipse. I have to get a fan. With them fans out. No. Song lyrics. I tell you. Sabrina, thank you. Thinking about how it affects others, and that part is none of my business. They need to do their best regardless. And that's on everything. That's what the standing operating procedures are for, and the employee handbook, all of those things. That's why, and I don't know how it is for the government, but in private industry, you got to sign the employee handbook. You get one and then you sign it. If you don't read it, that's on you. So I was in union facilities at certain points in my career. Here go the contract. Here go the employee handbook. Here you go. And here go the standing operating procedures. New training. Everybody signs off on the training. You said you was trained. You got it. And now I'm just giving you the receipts back to you. Nola, you shouldn't be afraid to challenge yourself. And if you are, feel the fear and do it anyway. Sabrina says, Regina says, the idea that people are hardwired to seek safety is something that isn't obvious to the naked eye and causes silent resistance and not moving forward. That is exactly correct, Regina. Nola and I were having a similar conversation yesterday because we were returning one of my amazing brain books to the library. And there were two young boys. They had to be in elementary school, and there were their bike racks at that library. And they were pulling themselves through the bike racks. And I said, look at them. They're going to kill themselves. Waiting on their mom to get the other daughter out the car. And Nola said, that's what people say with boys. They might not cause, they don't care about outfits and stuff, but you're just trying to keep them alive. You're just trying to get them to adulthood. And then I told her this, and I don't know if I've said this on a live before, but it's worth repeating. What happens is the amygdala is the warning. It's telling you, hey, saber-tooth tiger, stay away. So what happens is if you do something and it's challenging, like let's say, back in the day for us, the parents would tell us, hey, or Big Mom would say, don't put your hand on that stove. It's hot. Hot. You say hot, you say hot. Don't know. And then you touch it with your finger and go, and then the kid say, put some ice on and say, I told you, baby, don't touch that. And so the amygdala says, okay, don't touch that. That's hot. But unfortunately, with boys, they put one finger on it and touch it and it's hot. And the amygdala says, don't do that again. They say, well, let me see, can I burn two of my fingers? And then and the amygdala says, I told you, don't do that. And then they say, well, what if I do three? And every time they challenge the amygdala stops warning them to the point where they find themselves on the top of a roof. And this happened to one of my employees' son, 13. He called me and said, hey, Don, I got to leave. My son just jumped off the roof. His friends wanted to see if he could land on his feet like our pets. So he at the hospital. Son broke his arm because they want to see if it's true. The cats land on their feet, so let's see if he gonna land on his feet. It didn't go out. It didn't bode well, so he done broke his arm. So what happens is the more the amygdala tries to warn you and you ignore it, the amygdala stops warning you. And that's why they are like thrill seekers. Jackass was so popular because the part of saying danger, danger, danger is gone. So they actually don't have the inhibition control in their executive function to say, don't do that, don't say that. It's gone. That neural pathway is no longer wired. So for those of you who have sons and have spent many a time in urgent care and everywhere else and discipline them saying, why you do that? Why you flip over that? Why you trying to do that? That is what happens. That is what happens. So you have to reinforce that's dangerous. That's dangerous. You got to, every time they say no, it ain't, you got to say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, that's the, and what did you learn? And well, now a hard head make for a soft landing. No, you're going to land in the hospital if you don't wire that. Yes, exactly. So, but it was neurological. So to your point, Regina, it was neurological and you didn't know it. They didn't know it. And now that you do know it, if you can catch him or bring him back. Because the good thing about the brain is it's plastic and you can create that neural pathway. Kevin says, it seems life becoming successful requires you to constantly avoid the distraction of others. We are fighting ourselves and unaccountable people. That is correct, Kevin. And how many times on the lives recently have I said we is the saber-toothed tigers? It's us. We is the threat. We are the problem. We are the hijacking our own amygdala and hijacking everybody else's amygdala. That is what is actually taking place. And because you can't see it, which is why I never describe an unaccountable person, I describe behaviors and actions that they're taking, because we are all doing it. So there is no physical description. Listen to what people do. That's going to tell you a lot about you and them. Okay, on the flip side, those who embrace change and challenges, because embrace change is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, often find it, and they use the addictive, I couldn't think of a different word, I'm going to let it slide in this instance, once they push past the initial resistance, as it builds confidence and resilience. So those who embrace challenges often find it addictive. I would say a preferred choice, if I could, once they push past the initial resistance, as it builds confidence and resilience. So it's the just getting started that feels like you're climbing a mental mountain. And as I have mentioned before, that's called cognitive overload. When you feel like, damn, how am I do this and it? This is a whole lot. Whoa, Dr. Donna, no, I can't do all this. You can. And here's the example that I'm going to use. When you were in elementary school, and if you had older siblings, they might have been in middle school and high school, and you were like, wow, look, they can walk to school by themselves. And man, they iron their own clothes. And then look at them. They got their books and their backpack and all these other things. And wow, they can dial the telephone. I know we're going way back, right? Man, they're so self-sufficient, combing their own hair and everything. I'll never be able to do that. And then you start doing that. You go, dang, look at all these people driving these cars. I'm riding my bike. I'm on my scooter. I would never be able to do that. When Nola first started driving, she was like, I don't understand how people can drive 70 miles an hour. I'm never going to be able to do that. Several times a week, I'm saying you're doing 75. I know I was coming down the incline. Okay, well, slow the hell down then. Remember when you said you didn't think you was going to be able to do 75? You 65, you didn't exceed it. You didn't went above and beyond. This ain't that. Slow down. So you thought you couldn't do that. If you have more than one child, you thought, dang, how can I do this? If you only had one job, now you have a job. Now you manage people. Now you lead people. Kevin, you are an entrepreneur and you're creating economic development for other people. When you were in the 6th grade, you did not think, yeah, froyo. You know what I'm saying? Boba tea. That's me. I see myself doing that. No, you didn't. So the cognitive overload comes. The brain gets accustomed to doing it. And then you just add more. Just put some more BAM on it. You just put more and more things on it. Now, you don't do it to the point where it's affecting you and you can't become a master of anything, but you do have the pressure. You create the new neural pathways and then you're off and running. So yes, what I'm telling you feels overwhelming. But when the last time you worked your working memory? If your working memory has been unemployed for 12 years and I tell you think, that's going to feel insurmountable. You're like, think? Yeah, think. This thing was made for you to think. So use it or lose it. And that's why what I'm saying feels overwhelming. But I'm not asking you to, or a suggestion that you do anything that I haven't already done. I'm saying if you take a video challenge, you got to post one video. I post now and I've reduced it probably 50 times a day. So I'm 50 times more than what you're doing. So imagine if you had to post 50 times. Oh, I don't. I only got to post once. Okay, cool. Got it on one platform. Got it. Very, 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 very simple. And Nola said this yesterday, too, as we were going to our first appointment that was at a business. I think the appointment started at 9. She said, I bet you people think this is the first thing that we did this morning when we get to these morning appointments. They have no idea how long we've already, good morning, how long we've already been awake and how much we've done by the time we get to there. If you think about it this way, I wake up at 3 a.m. Our first appointment was at 9 a.m. That's lunchtime for me. I'm 6 hours into my day when I slice that first box open. 6 hours. I've been doing shit for 6 hours before we start doing shit. That's the Army. We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day. And that's the reality. But I don't, because of where my brain is, it's not cognitive overload for me. Because I've been doing this for this level of effort my entire life. Always above and beyond. So that cognitive overload that you feel initially will subside. At first, you couldn't read, you couldn't spell, and you barely could talk. You weren't even potty trained. Now you do all of that without even thinking about it. It's on autopilot. The working memory says, hey, we got to go put clothes on. Boom. You're not thinking I used to have to select my clothes. I had to go to the store and purchase these clothes. I had to put the outfit together, stand in the mirror, make sure it's doing this thing. You never thought about that. But this new thing, this new challenge feels insurmountable. But so did the other new challenges. So embrace it. Understand it is cognitive overload. It's going to feel like a lot until it becomes part, till you create that new neural pathway. And then the more you use it, the less overload it's going to create. Now, the next question for you today is how to challenge yourself. So how to challenge yourself. Tell me how you challenge yourself. And remember, ... if you're thinking, because YouTube will they haven't done it in a while, so I'm anticipating that it can occur, to let me know that the chat is still here. The chat is here. The chat is here. Them song lyrics. I challenge myself by going against my regular procrastination, but doesn't always work. Well, one of the 74 principles of real leadership is procrastination is the enemy, and the antidote to procrastination is to do it now. Don't think about it, just do it. Just do it. Because if you belabor over it, you won't do the labor. Kevin says, set small achievable goals and work to bigger goals incrementally. Bite-sized goals will get it done. The tortoise versus the hare. And all unaccountable people are the hare. They start, they stop. They start, they stop. They start, they stop. They cheat, they start, they stop. They cheat, they skip the line. They enter into Faustian bargain, stop, start, cheat again. And that's why they never make it across the finish line. Noah said, when stuff stops working, I make a change. And I challenge myself on a daily basis, and here's why. When you get to this level of neuropability, everything runs smoothly. And that's what people, in theory, desire, a life that runs smoothly. The problem with that is when it doesn't go smoothly, if you're not challenging yourself and a surprise shows up, then you don't know what to do. And when you have just basically eliminated the majority of your generational curses and your defects of character, you kind of run out of things to do. And that's why I go and do work in Nola's business, because it's an industry that I was very much unfamiliar with. It's not my area of expertise. And then I get to go and have all of these different experiences that in what I do, would never come across any of the things that she has come across in either one of her businesses. And the reason why you do that, because now that I am 52, I've had my working memory start to deteriorate, in theory, for the last 17 years. I don't want to be 65 saying, I don't know, I can't think of nothing. Let me sit here for a minute and gather my thoughts. And you will find that when you challenge yourself on a daily basis, it is more fulfilling. It is more rewarding, and you don't have to go and have an external thing take place. So you don't have to go buy something. You don't have to go sit at an event. You don't have to go and get manufactured dopamine. You create the natural dopamine for yourself. Because remember, as we discussed a couple days ago, the dopamine is in the wanting of that thing to take place. So I wanted to find out how many actual days my sister is older than myself. And that in and of itself, I was like, wow, 1,155 days. Now I know. And because I speak in daily, I now can say that. So when you are challenging yourself, you actually are going to get that natural dopamine. And I understand that. So I can have dopamine naturally throughout the day without having to have a bunch of other people be responsible for me and my own daily personal fulfillment. And then Regina, if you typed your answer, it's not coming up. but you could be typing a extended answer. And I wish that this would function better. I know they have all these other things that they're working on, but we don't get surveys on how. I get surveys on, are you enjoying the app? They never ask me as a creator and a person that goes live every day, what are any of the malfunctions or glitches? So they don't ask how we doing. What can we improve? Sabrina, I challenge myself by having weekly team meetings because I am uncomfortable speaking in groups. Well, that is awesome. And I think we said for you to go to Toastmasters. Did you look into any of the Toastmasters clubs in your area? And I swear by Toastmasters, I've just outgrown the platform. I would have to go be like part of an international club with people speaking multiple different languages for me to get back in Toastmasters. But it is good. It's very beneficial. I swear by it, 100%. Sabrina says, participating in daily live sessions and having deeper conversations with people has proven to be challenging and stimulating. Yes, you are getting your natural dopamine. So it's the way you can see this, because it's like, what the hell is dopamine? So think of it this way. When I gave up added sugar in March of 2023 and had my 30-day depression and downfall of added sugar and caffeine, it was terrible first 2 weeks. I was crying shit, mouth watering when I walked down the candy section of the store. I was like, oh no, this shit is addictive. Both of it. Mood swings, everything else. That's why this is caffeine free. And you do need sugar in your diet. The brain needs glucose, but it's the added sugar. So here's the thing. You can go and get a bag of M&Ms. And I don't know how much sugar is in it, but I'm going to say, let's say there's 30 grams of sugar in a bag of M&Ms. And so I have this, y'all know I got my one little piece of chocolate. Y'all like, quit showing us that one little piece of chocolate. Like, how the hell you just gonna eat one little piece of chocolate? So it's milk chocolate. It's from Whole Foods, got less sugar in it and everything else. So I do have a craving for chocolate. Now I could go eat a whole big ass bag that they sell at the movie theater, M&Ms. It's probably 65, and go, I love me some sugar. Or I can just have this nice little piece of sugar. Or better yet, my oranges. Y'all like, what? How big is your desk? So I have my oranges this morning, and I'm going to have that one little piece of chocolate and my oranges. This is sugar. This is natural. This came from the ground. As natural as you can get it. And that's natural dopamine versus this manufactured app, like Cookie Monster with all of this other stuff. So what I'm saying is you have the ability to go and get natural dopamine. It's an orange. Or you can go keep trying to get doggone M&Ms. Shovel it in. You're just going to spend a bunch of money at a dentist. I resemble that remark, and have teeth pain and everything else. Not to mention you could end up with diabetes and all other kind of things. So that's the difference. When you are, yes ma'am, new background. Oh, I like the background today. Yes, I have, there is one within walking distance of my office, so I'm going to check them out. And we'll send an email today. Yes, ma'am. That is awesome. Yes. So new background. Kevin inspired the new background. Yesterday we were blue with the other background, and he said he found it difficult to focus. So I changed the whole background. But Kevin likes this new background. It was time. I just didn't have the time to, or make the time to change the backgrounds, because I've been wanting the backgrounds to change. But the amount of effort that I have to put in and think about it and make it creative so it makes sense and that it'll show up on green screen and all that. But yes, so I made 5 or 6 new backgrounds. I got to go check on my phone, but I'm talking to y'all on it, so we'll see. And kudos to you on the Toastmasters. So when you're craving this dopamine, the want, I want some sugar. Okay, cool. How can we get that done? And why? Sometimes I say, no, you're not getting no sugar. And I'll drink some water, because it's like you feel like you just want some sugar because you're seeking comfort. So hell no, you're not getting any sugar. But if you are saying, yes, it's time I can have some sugar. Okay, well, what kind of sugar are you going to get? You can get a bag of M&Ms, or you can get an orange. You can get some mangoes, whatever your fruit is. So you get some natural sugar, or you get some with a little bit of sugar in it that's natural, or you can go ahead and get this 65. I think Nola had a Sprite, a 20-ounce Sprite, and it has 68 grams of sugar in it. Or you could go get that. And now your brain ain't going to have what it needs because it was unnatural. And now it's going to keep saying, give me some more of that, give me some more of that. And then now you're going to end up with the big gulps from 7-Eleven, which is no bueno. So the whole purpose is the dopamine is the incentive. People say it's the motivator. I say it's the thing. Yes. You talking about the background is light and airy, or the oranges. So you want the dopamine is, I want this, and I'm going to reward you with some dopamine when you go get it. So it's the motivator to what is it? The motivator hormone. And people say, "Oh, I need dopamine, dopamine, dopamine," but it has to be getting results the right way. So you can't just say, "I'm gonna go get some dopamine. Let me grab something off the shelf." You have to be strategic about it, because then it will actually be rewarding, and the brain will do what it naturally needs to do. Okay. So thank you for all of your answers and how to challenge yourself. I'm glad you asked that, Nola, because here's how you do it. First of all, you got to set clear goals. Kevin said it. He's doing smart, short goals to get to bigger goals. And SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Some people say time bound, but it's the same thing. Do it in a timely manner so that you can attach it and know, did I do what I said I was going to do? So number one, you got to set clear goals. Number two, to go back to Kevin's point, is you got to start small. You have to start small. And I say, I think I learned this at Frito-Lay, go slow to go fast. Go slow to go fast. So go slow so you can see what's happening. Then you can get that flywheel going, that momentum going, and then you can blast off to the galaxy. Start small is number two. Number three is embrace discomfort. Oh, yeah, background and oranges too. Got it. Embrace discomfort. I'm going to say that again. Embrace discomfort. Hey, discomfort, how you doing? Come on in. I knew yeah, hell yeah, I was expecting you. Sit down, sit down, sit down. You need anything? You want some tea? You want some decaf coffee? Have a seat. All right, what we doing today? How bad is it going to be? How much discomfort am I going to be in today? Yesterday, we were in 97 degrees putting together 2 lounge chairs. We've been as high as 115, 117, and plus it was shaded. So it was discomfort, but it wasn't extreme discomfort. Embrace discomfort. Accept that growth feels uncomfortable. And the example that I use in my book is a baby's teeth. And the baby's like, it's terrible, it's terrible. And the parents are like, here's the teeth ring, you're going to be okay. Ambisol on things. And then the baby gets the teeth. And in my case, my baby loves chicken. And so she started eating solid food. She's like, oh, is that what that pain was for? Hell yeah. Give me some more chicken. Give me some more. So yes, it's uncomfortable, but then you understand on the other side the benefits to having teeth, and now you get to have a better food palette, and everything ain't this mushed apricots and Gerber organic meals and all that. You get to have a better plethora, a bevy of food. So it's amazing. So you got to embrace that. It's going to happen. If you challenge yourself, you're going to be uncomfortable. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. Discomfort signals you're pushing the limits. You are knocking down walls. You are in cognitive distress. It's overload. And then, pow! And now you're not. And now you have this new level of growth, these new skill sets, this new technical competence, this new self-awareness, because you were in discomfort. You were uncomfortable. That's why people can't challenge themselves. They're like, wait a minute, what? And I'm gonna have to get up and get dressed, and I'm gonna have to read. You know, I don't really like reading. We dumb on my daddy's side, so no, we can't do that. I'm gonna but do you have to think that much? Like, you gotta think like every day, like for real, for real. Yeah, you do. So embrace it. It's telling you you're getting ready to push the limits. Take it to the limit. Yeah! That's what you have to do. Food without labels. I appreciate you for what you do. This is helping. It's helping a lot. My pleasure. My pleasure. Number 4, challenge your routine. Challenge your routine. As I mentioned, today is day 565 days of me going live. If you were on the beginning of the lives in November of 2023, this ain't nothing like it was way back then. Today, it's a new background. So challenge your routine. I wasn't wearing brain t-shirts, and now I'm wearing brain t-shirts, and I'm getting new brain t-shirts as I find ones that actually work. Had that damn headband wig on far too long and said, no, I'm going to wear the hair that I would normally wear. And if somebody says something offensive, they're getting blocked. Point blank, period. Challenge it. Every day, challenge your routine. It only takes 21 days to form a habit, good or bad. So switch your bad habits to good habits. I have a video that talks about the sin tax and the win tax. All those things that people know. Somebody know how to roll something, and every day you get exercise every day. Same behavior. You just got to switch it from that to the other thing. So everybody does something every single day. I got to have my coffee every single day. Okay, well, cool. Just have to replace it with water. Replace it with decaf. So you have the ability to change your routine, change your mindset, you change the game. Number 7, you got to track your progress. Seeking improvement keeps you focused and disciplined, and it's empowering. Seeking improvement keeps you focused, disciplined, and it's empowering. In June, on June 25th, 2025, I will have been gone from my corporate job for, wait for it, 15 years. If you combine my military service and my time at Frito-Lay, it was 14 years, 2 months, and some change. We're just going to round that up to 15. I have been doing this longer than I have been doing anything else. Because even when I was working with my sister, I was still not at a job and not in corporate America, and I was learning and growing free from all of that nonsense. So longer. So I am tracking my progress. I am seeking improving because it is empowering. I told someone yesterday, it was just chips on the truck. It was just, I don't care how you slice it and dice it, it was chips on the truck. And it was never not going to be chips on the truck. No matter what department, what area I went to, the focus, the business models was raw materials to finished goods, settlement, and marketplace. And I had mastered it. I'm good. Soldiering was soldiering. As a company grade officer, I said, oh, so when you become a field grade officer, you just go from platoon leader to company commander to battalion and brigade commander, and then installation commander as a general. Yeah, I'm out. I'm not doing that. So when you can seek the improvement and the discipline, it's empowering. It's so empowering. You couldn't have told me 15 years ago when I left Frito-Lay that I would have a billion anything. 17.3 billion views on social media. I wasn't even on social media back then. I had a BlackBerry. Like, what? I'm a what? Nah. Whatevs. I'm a leadership expert. I'm a doggone business strategist. I'm gonna be telling people about business, and here I am with a damn brain t-shirt on and a brain background talking about neuropability. So challenge yourself, and you'll be amazed at where you end up at. Number 6 is hold yourself personally accountable. We know that is the number one principle of real leadership. Without it, nothing else will be sustainable. Hold yourself, fix you first, and then everybody else around you personally accountable too. We are thermostats, not thermometers. We set the temperature. We'll never take it at all. If it's hot, cool it down. If it's cold, heat it up. Put some fire under some folks. Number 7, as always, reframe failure. Everything that is positive about personal accountability says you're going to have to reframe what you see. You're going to have to reframe it. Reality distortion is what they called it when referring to Steve Jobs. But you are going to have to view setbacks as learning opportunities, not defeat. This didn't work. And because you don't do anything without a strategy, you're going to go back and say, well, what part of the strategy didn't work? Okay, oh, the whole strategy didn't work. Okay, bam. Back to the drawing board. None of that worked. And put that over there. See, we tried that, but that didn't work. Tried that, and I used the yes and no challenge. 30-day challenges came from me being live. Everything before that was 365 days. Yes and no challenge was the first one. That shit was an epic fail, but all the other 30-day challenges came as a result of that. So reframe failure, view setbacks as learning opportunities, not defeat. I know exactly what doesn't work and what does. Number 8, and Kevin, you alluded to this earlier, limit distractions. One of the principles of real leadership is eliminate distractions. Eliminate them. If something is distracting you, guess where you're going? Hijack the amygdala. Can you access your frontal lobe with a hijacked amygdala? Absolutely not. That shit shuts down, fight or flight. I got to seek safety. So that's why you don't let things distract you, because it's taking you out of your frontal lobe and putting you in your limbic system and putting you in a hijacked amygdala state and making you emotional and irrational. It's shutting off access to your inhibition control, which is in your executive function. And that's where you stop yourself from doing and saying dumb shit. That's why you got to stay in your frontal lobe. From your frontal lobe, you can feel your feelings, assess situations, and stop yourself from doing something that you're going to regret. You either apologize for or get yourself out of. That's why you don't let people hijack your amygdala with distractions. Absolutely not. Number 9 is practice consistency. I am live. This is my 565th day live. I've been posting on Instagram consistently since December 16, 2015. I'm coming up on 10 years, God willing, 10 years of posting on Instagram myself every single day. And I just hit 15,600 Instagram posts. That's walking the walk, for real, for real. So when you practice consistency, you got to commit to it daily. Consistency turns into habits. Habits build and strengthen neural pathways. That's what happens. When you keep doing it, you're going to have cognitive overload. I was like, what am I going to say? I'm just using OPC, other people's content, for 278 posts. You scroll all the way down. You got a couple hours to scroll all the way down. You will see other people's posts. Because I didn't know how to make graphics. I had 2 people making my graphics. I was like, they take it too long. I think I could do this. And I had the time clock from Snapchat with a little vignette on it from Instagram and one word. That's what my post started being. And now they have evolved into what you see today because of my consistency, because I've strengthened all of my neural pathways to be a content creator, to be an influencer, and to be the baddest mofo walking the face of planet Earth, because none of that was my background. And that's the purpose of the 30-day challenges, is because you are consistent. You do them back to back, so you're building consistency. It's not so much, oh, Dr. Don trying to take all my money. $30, I don't even think you get DoorDash for $30. It's not that. It's you building consistency, and before you know it, you look up, and for a whole year, you've been consistently doing something every day, and that neural pathway says, I'm consistent, I'm consistent, I'm consistent, I'm consistent. You're wiring the pathway to say, I can do something through funerals, weddings, baby showers, graduations, all the different holidays. If you choose to celebrate the good times, the bad times, heat waves, blizzards, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, and everything else, I can be consistent. So you be cool as the other side of the pillow. So when something does happen, your consistency kicks in and you know how to stay in your frontal lobe. So whatever problem shows up, you can solve it because you are used to using your cognition every single day. Let me go ahead and make that a highlight. I just shout amen on that. Hallelujah. And then lastly, and most importantly, number 10. Celebrate your wins, small gains, all of it. Celebrate it all how you see fit. If you want to have 2 pieces of chocolate because you made brain backgrounds, then by golly, go ahead and have 2 pieces of chocolate. Celebrate your wins. If you want to take a nap, take a nap. If you want to go for a walk, go for a walk. Do something with natural dopamine to celebrate your efforts. And why does this work? These steps work because they counter the brain's resistance to change by building structure, support, and a growth mindset. So what you're doing is you are challenging yourself, and you're creating the infrastructure to be able to always challenge yourself. And it's the opposite. Remember, the brain is hardwired for safety, comfort, lazy, no sweating. I just want to feel good right now, and this is where I am. And negativity bias. So you're doing the opposite. You're pruning those negative neural pathways, and you're creating these positive neural pathways so that you can be a bad mofo too. And remember, think positive is one of the 74 principles for leadership. So as we close, 3 questions for you to answer. Number 1, what is your takeaway from the steps to how to challenge yourself? And if I need to repeat one, please let me know. So when I get on a roll, the Detroit in me comes out and I start talking really fast. I recognize that. So if I need to repeat any, ask me and I shall. What are your thoughts about the takeaways to challenge yourself? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And one thing I would say about the brain background too, and I have some that were small like that, but they're just different. They got a little brain with some glasses on, lifting up some weights, is that me just even having a brain t-shirt on and a brain background was a challenge, because I was 51 before I came out as a nerd, a complete 100% full-on nerd. And I'm saying, if you're a nerd, don't wait that long. If you're closeted anything, don't wait that long. Come on out. It's just better. And people going to say whatever the fuck they're going to say, and fuck them. So the brain background was smaller and red and simple. Number 1, because my colors for turnaround doctors, red, green, and black. That's not, because that's Gucci's colors back in the day too. Long story short. Anyway, so red is powerful. I'm going to put this red background out here and have this power because I was getting accustomed to talking about the brain. This time last year, I didn't have all this neurological information. So that's why you just start. Michael Masters' book, Ready, Fire, Aim. You just got to put something out there. And then from there, on your own, naturally, you will say, okay, I'm finished with this. It's time for me to move on. But 545 days ago, definitely wasn't putting up a brain. 180 days ago, no, it's a little bit more than that. I got to think about it. I got to go back and look. Anyway, 9 months ago, I know for sure one thing about putting up a brain. One thing about it might be 10. One thinking about it, didn't have the confidence to do it. So still talking about personal accountability, but to be able, you got to have confidence to be able to say, this is the brain, this is the part that works. And because of my consistency, as I go back to number 9, it's time to move past that background. Can I bring it back like a homage, the TBT? Yes, I still have the power post that I made way back thousands and thousands of posts on Instagram because people need to see that progression. And what happens is unaccountable people are like, yeah, I was doing that shit, but I ain't gonna let you see that. I just want you to see that I'm the shit. No, I got posts. My book has spelling errors in it, grammatical errors, and I'm keeping it that way because at that time I was driving 120 miles a day. Nola was in kindergarten, and I just finished my doctorate, and I was self-publishing a book. So yeah, there are going to be some errors in it, but the book is still the book, and the information is the information. I had to ask myself, what's more important, these spelling errors or showing people what's possible, even when you got a full-time job and you managing 9 facilities in Upper Michigan all the way to the Wisconsin state line. That's what I'm demonstrating is the right to improve, but I'm being consistent in everything that I do. Kevin said, today, learn to reframe the failures. Okay. And Regina is typing. So my point is that brain background served its purpose, and you have to think of it as a placeholder. And then you can grow into this next level of who you are. But you got to start somewhere. Even the greatest bands, even Sting, and I read his book. Sting literally started with a different group and everything, and it was this horrible existence before he became Sting. Everybody's like, oh, Sting, Sting, Sting. You read the book, you're like, damn, there's a life lived before that. So Regina said, my takeaway is that I need a new challenge. Yes. And that's why I still do Duolingo. Am I fluent in my languages? Absolutely not, because of the orthographic processing center and how I learn and process. Thank you, Donna Howard, for that deficiency in our brain that Nola and I both have. It's hereditary. It is what it is. But I have a 3,000, how many day? I am on today will be 3,158 days on Duolingo. And I started doing Duolingo with Nola when she was in middle school, learning Spanish. So I challenged myself to keep doing that. I challenged myself to get the number 1 in the Diamond League. As we know, the lady from France got her ass handed to her. I had 9,000 more XP than her. It was vicious. It was brutal. I played with her a little bit during the beginning of the week. She was ahead on Wednesday, and she woke up and had the shock of her life on Sunday. I was too far ahead of her. I had already ran the numbers. I was like, you're never catching me. Never, ever, ever catching me. Yes, I'm number 1 in the Diamond League way back in 2023. Now I took my account private so I could start focusing on, and our schedule just got too busy. So yeah, but I did it. I think I only have 2 things left before I have all the awards and badges in Duolingo. And one of them is Night Owl. And you have to do lessons between 10 and midnight. Y'all know I'm asleep by then. So, well, if I'm awake, I'm damn sure not don't have the mental faculties to be doing no damn Duolingo between 10 p.m. and 12. But I got to get those 2 done. All right. Regina, yeah, my takeaway. And then Jasmine said yes to Duolingo. That's a daily challenge. Keeps your brain working. Those are brutal. Yep, definitely. So what did you learn today about yourself? And what did you learn? And what did you learn about yourself? And again, the reason why you answer these questions every day, number 1, consistency. I'm creating for you naturally 2 neural pathways that you know you need to wake up every day and seek to learn something. I've learned anything today. Okay, this was what's going on. Do not put your amazing head on your amazing pillow without learning something. Carl Munger said, every day you should go to sleep wiser than you were when you woke up in the morning. That means that you're going to seek out information. And the other question, what did you learn about yourself? There isn't a lot of self-reflection taking place. There's a lot of self-grandizing, but there isn't a lot of self-reflection. Who am I? Where am I? Right? I forgot what television show that came off of. I think it was JJ saying it on Good Times. Somebody said it. The point is that the self-reflection question is to start looking within, because that's where the magic happens. And when you ask yourself a question, the brain says, oh, we got to answer this question. And then there's a release of serotonin because of neurotransmitters. That's what it is. And hormones. Serotonin and dopamine and endorphins are all neurotransmitters and hormones. Gotta love perimenopause. Kevin said, myself, gotta lessen my distractions. You do. And you lessen your distractions by saying no. You say no. If ever you feel guilty about saying no, just remember about the planes. You put your oxygen mask on first. And I've used this demonstration. When you let people distract you, the flight attendant, as you're taxiing away, says, in the event of loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will come from the top. You secure your mask first, And then you support those around you, even if you are a mother and you got your baby there, because your brain needs oxygen. 5 minutes or more, your brain dead. So what's happening with a distraction is this. You getting ready to put your mask on, and somebody come up to you and say, hey, Kevin, man, can you help me with my mask? And then somebody else, hey, can you help me with my mask too? Can you help me with my mask too? And your mask is sitting right here hanging. And now you walking around the whole plane, you helping the flight attendants put their, but your oxygen, you deteriorating, brain fog, everything else, and you trying to help them. No. Every grown person needs to put their own damn mask on. That's what personal accountability is. You put yours on, and then you assist them putting their own mask on. If they are physically able to do it, you say, yeah, so grab it, and then these things, pull those things. Yeah, you got it, you got it. You're demonstrating what they need to do. But you go over there trying to put their mask on, or they're better yet, they're saying, yeah, I need your mask. Your oxygen is better than mine. And I think there's something wrong. We all on the same damn aircraft. No. But because see, you doing better. Let me have some of your oxygen. So now you're going. And their oxygen mask is sitting right here. Y'all all got the same damn oxygen, but they telling you yours is better. So stop. That's what those distractions are. 100%. Okay, anybody else? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And what I learned about myself is that I like me. And today's PA for today and Real Leader Brain was boast. And I'd like to share that definition with you. And here's Sabrina's answer. One moment, Sabrina, I'll read your answer. Boast. And I thought about it. I didn't want to say boast because my sister is a very boastful person. But you got to love, once again, Chat GPT. And I don't have any, I'm not going to get a dime from them or X for saying it. But when I find something that works, I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell everybody. So boast means to praise oneself extravagantly in speech. To praise oneself extravagantly in speech. And I was like, is that what boast means? You just praising yourself. You can boast about yourself at home. You ain't got to be in front of nobody. You can send yourself boastful audios and text it to yourself later. Like, hey, Dr. Donna, what's up with you? Boy, you killed that live this morning. Look at you. I love that new brain background. Yup, you did that. 10 toes down on personal accountability. To praise oneself extravagantly in speech. That's all it is. Now, the unaccountables then adulterated it, turned it into this terrible, horrible thing. But it's just giving yourself self-praise. It's not pride or anything. That's right. Be your biggest woo, woo, go you, go you, go you. All right. Sabrina said, I learned that I need to self-audit myself and recognize some of the things I force myself to do are the challenge for me, and I need to acknowledge. Yes. And then Sabrina said, I learned that challenging myself creates neural pathways, and this strengthens my frontal and cognitive abilities. This is valuable. I do have a few friends who are beginning to forget, but don't know how to change the situation. And it is neural pathways. Regina, the next time one of your baby boomer friends sits down and says, Dada told me to do some Sudoku. And you tell them, first of all, it's Sudoku. But the Sudoku, they told me to get some of them Sudoku books. So I sent my grand to the store to give me some of them Sudokus. No, the Sudokus ain't going to work, okay? They need to actually challenge themselves, okay? Don't let them buy Sudoku. Don't let them download the app on their phone. Don't send them to Pinot and paint, because all they're going to do is come back with a hideous picture and a hangover, okay? They actually need to do things that challenge them, and none of them should be doing the exact same thing. So if they all sitting around at Pinot and paint with the Sudoku, get them out. You're still driving for everybody, so just pick them up and tell them, help me get them in the car and take them somewhere else. They have to challenge themselves. It actually has to be cognitive overload. Noah said, I learned that there isn't a good reason to not challenge yourself. There isn't. It's an excuse. Every time somebody say they can't, you just say, well, you know what? One of the 74 principles of real leadership is can makes the impossible possible. So let's turn that can't into a can and that how into now. I guarantee you, if anybody wants to challenge Dr. Donna and say, 74 principles of real leadership, they can't handle a situation. Yes, they can. Every situation that's out there. I guarantee, as the Raging Cajun used to say on his show, we put a little orange jus on it, a little white wine. Yes, the 74 principles of real leadership is the business. Okay? It is. It is oxygen. It is oxygen, it is water, it is sustenance, it is life. It is the answer. The theory of personal accountability and the 74 principles of real leadership is how you become a bad mofo, independent of anybody else. Nola said, I learned about myself. I don't even pay attention to challenges anymore. I'm like, let's just knock it out. Yes, knock it out. She is, because she knows me. And everybody some of the kids used to tell Nola, oh, I would love to have your mom. Your mom, she's like, listen, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. This ain't for the faint at heart. There is a lot of pressure to be Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers' daughter, because she gonna give you everything you need, but she gonna make sure the standard is up here. You be like, yep, okay, you did that. Now come on, let's go over here. And it's not these millennial moms, but you're gonna make me proud. I had you, and you gotta make me somebody. It's not that. It's you gonna be somebody too, independent of me. You gonna walk in the room on your own. Ain't no nepotism over here. You gonna have your own shit that you did yourself. It is not going. It's going to be because of real leadership, and not because I handed everything to you. I did. I handed you this amazing book and the 74 principles of real leadership, and gave you some great DNA. Now the rest is up to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your life for yourself to increase your neuropability and start to create, if you haven't already done so, the challenge yourself neural pathway. And for those of you who have it, to strengthen it in a unique way. That's what this is all about. Challenge yourself. Live on the edge. The more inland you are, the more comfort you seek. When something shows up, you're not going to be able to problem solve. You're not going to be able to appreciate it or anything else. And the other thing that I will say as we depart ways for today is this: your real personality is in your frontal lobe. Who you actually is in your frontal lobe. So at any time, if you find yourself not being the real you, you are actually in your hijacked amygdala state, and you are practicing appease. Fight, flight, freeze, or appease are what happens when your amygdala is hijacked. And if you find yourself appeasing someone, your amygdala is being hijacked. In your frontal lobe, you are yourself. Treat people with dignity and respect is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So you don't have to appease anybody, but handle conflict when it occurs and hold yourself and others accountable is also are also principles of real leadership. That appeasing shit says you and them is being unaccountable. So don't do that. Be who you are. And if it doesn't resonate with people, that's on them. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Because people who hold themselves personally accountable to be their best don't have an issue with who you are. We don't. The only thing I have an issue with is you being personally unaccountable and immoral or illegal. Other than that, love who you love, wear what you wear, worship who you worship, don't worship. I don't care. You're going to definitely get to your best when you can actually be the real you. Because now you're not putting on airs and keeping your fronts up and all that other shit. You just get to be you. And that's the other reason why I'm doing my subscriptions for me behind the scenes. Because everybody don't need to know what the hell I'm doing, number one. But number two, unaccountable people have in the past tried to poach things that I'm doing. And I'm like, you're not poaching this. You're not going to take the idea. Well, she drinks harataki in the morning and I'm going to do harataki. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a different glass and I'm going to stand over here. No, you're not going to think that you're about to emulate me and that's going to make you me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm showing you what day-to-day life looks like so that you can understand, oh, okay, it is regular. Okay, cool. Oh, so that's something. Oh, she just took a nap. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. It's just, what does a normal real leader life look like with all this pomp and circumstance? And like I said the other day, it's not sexy, but it's interesting because people need to see something different. I wasn't going to do it. I'm a very private person and I wasn't going to do it. But I'm like, then what else are they going to see? Then they're going to just keep choosing these other options that are not viable. Everything I'm saying is neurological. It's strategic so you can get it. Okay? All right. So thank you so much again for your time. I do value and appreciate that you have taken the time out of your day to work on yourself because you had a choice this morning and you chose you. And that's the best thing that you can always do for you. I will be back, God willing, higher power in the universe. Same time, same place, different brain t-shirt. and safe space, and it might be a different brain background depending on the mood. Por la mañana. You all go off and have it's Thursday. Go off and have a terrific Thursday. Take care. Adios.